Welcome to this week of the Masterclass, our live channel edition. This time we're going to go over the grip. All right, so you know what? It's important for me to go through the body assessment and understand the processes. Yeah, definitely the body is number one. The process can be slowly learned, and you don't have to fully understand it as you get going, but you will need to at some point. But the grip, we all know is important. And there's so many confusing things out there of what we need to do, and there's not enough consistency in the grip. So I'm going to give you some things that are easy to do that will tell you where the grip has to be. So the first one being, if we get set up with our hands together, keep our sternum very still, and just move our hands over to our trail side and let our trail arm bend, and let our trail wrist bend, so you can hear a snap. That is going to tell us where we're going to put our trail hand on the grip. So if our palm is pointed a little downward, we're going to want a weaker grip. If our palm is pointed at the wall, we're going to want a neutral grip. If our palm is pointed upwards, we're going to want a stronger grip. If you don't know what those terms mean, review the chapter here. But a stronger grip would be underneath, a neutral grip would be on the side, and a weaker grip would be on top. Now that's important to figure out. That's an easy one to figure out. You might not like that. You might be somebody who's been holding it underneath and now you got to be on top. But in order to use some of these training aids, like this, having the G-snap or the hanger is a very common one, you need to understand that. So for me, you saw my palm was pointed a little bit downward. So for this hanger, when I'm hitting this, I'm going to have connection with my right inside forearm. And then as I swing, it's going to go back to my left. If I was somebody who had a stronger right hand and a stronger lead hand, that hanger would start on my lead forearm and stay on that forearm throughout the swing. So that's why you can go down a rabbit hole of bad information or get a training aid that you were told to get or you think is going to help you and not use it the right way. So make sure that trail hand is in that position. That's something we can do through video if you're unsure if you're doing it correctly. Now, when we do that, last thing on that trail hand here, when we do that, we want to have some awareness to the club face. So what I like to do is I like to get the club soled on the ground, the club face square to some leading edge, and that's when I can get my weaker, neutral, or strong position. Because sometimes we get it into a position that as we're looking at our hands, but then the club face is turned too closed or completely wide open. So that's a great way to just do that. Sometimes I even do that on the course if I really want to just double check my grip. Now the lead hand can be in a different position. That could be either in a stronger position, that would be on top, neutral position, or a weak position underneath. Now in order to figure out that, it's a little bit more difficult, but what we're going to do is, so our other snap on here. And what we know is that the best players in the world flex that lead wrist a little bit or a lot. So flexion, extension. So that has to happen in the swing. Now watch this. If we get our lead hand into a strong grip and I add some flexion and rotation of my forearm, I get that snap and I get the club face to point at the wall. If I put this in a weak position, I get some snap, and I'm really twisting, I can only get that club face to be pointed at the ground. So how does that relate to the golf ball? Well, if you're somebody who's struggling to get that flexion and that snap, you definitely want to start working on a strong lead hand. If you're somebody who's really got that motion down, whether it's natural or you've been practicing it, and you're missing it left of your target, if you're a right-hander, you'd probably want to weaken that grip slightly, still keep on rotating through the shot and a couple other things. But, I love a left miss if you know me as a coach, if you're one of my students that we work with in person, because I really try to get that flexion. I really try to get that forearm and that wrist to get into that position and create some rapid motion, rapid twisting through that. Because your right hand or your trail hand, as we just learned, is going to be very stable through that shot if we put it in the right position, if we have it in the right grip. So work with the trail hand, get that down, and then train that lead hand, train that flexion move. So that's it for our live edition here. Let me know if you have any questions. Post them in the forum, post them in the channel, send them to me privately. I'll get right back to you.